What the fuck? What is up? What in the fuck is up? Bitch? How we doing? Let me 1 second here. Let me get a little comfy. Turn that. Ooh. Lean back, relaxed, moisturized, in my fucking lane. I'm in my fuck. I wish I could do a good, Tom. Tom is a really good Quentin Tarantino impression. I was very jealous of it. I'm moisturized. I'm in my fucking lane. My ducks are in a fucking row, okay? Your ducks are unorganized. Your ducks are fucking listless. Get your ducks in a... No, get your ducks in a fucking lane. That's my best Tarantino. That's all I got, man. I can't do much better than that, to be frank. To be honest, I can't do much better than that. What's up? Yo, what's up, baby girl? Can I get some? No, you can't. Look, man, take me up for dinner first. Everybody wants an adventure, okay? This is something I've learned. In my time on Earth, okay? Everybody wants an adventure. Everybody wants a little adventure. Now, I've noticed, my best advice for taking girls out on dates is to provide a little adventure, okay? Provide a little fun time. Everyone loves a fun time. When you're a kid and you don't have to think about things, your parents take you to a restaurant, they take you to Canada's Wonderland. They take you to the water park. You're not making decisions. Nobody wants to make decisions, okay? I like making a decision here or there. And most men, they end up being the decision maker. And that's fine, man. That's our role, okay? And that's not a universal. That's not an absolute. I'm just going to say most men, most of the time, the role is the decision maker. And that's fine. But sometimes the decision maker doesn't want to make decisions, okay? Sometimes I need a little break. Sometimes I need a little adventure. You want to pick me up? You want to pick me up? You want to take me to a little cocktail bar? You want to cover my bill? I don't want to think about it. Take me with a set menu, man. Take me somewhere with a prefix. Can I go somewhere with a prefix menu, please? I don't want to decide. I want to be whisked away on an evening of fun. Is that fair? Is that fair? I think that's fair. Anyway, how we doing? What's up, man? What should I do if I'm scared of intimacy because it makes me feel vulnerable? Do it anyway. Look, vulnerability. I think Gen Z adopted a continuation of the culture of the 90s. Gen Z adopted a continuation of the culture of the 90s. And 90s culture, I think, there's a great book by Chuck Klosterman. Is that his name? I believe. It's a great book. JJ talks about this a lot. I think JJ made a video on this book, or referenced it heavily in a book, in a video called The 90s. And a lot of 90s culture was based around like ironic detachment, not selling out, a little bit of insincerity, a little bit of just detachment, a bit of depersonalization and derealization from our culture, from our emotions at large. And I think Gen Z, I think young people today inherited that culture of being too cool for school. Ugh. And the issue with that is it prevents you from sort of actualizing. It prevents you from knowing yourself, okay? It prevents you from knowing yourself. And it's a risk you have to take. I think you have to risk being, in order to be able to think, one has to risk being cringe. You're going to be cringy, because cringy is sincerity. It's sincerity. It's like uncanny sincerity. But you should be sincere. I think just don't be scared to say what you actually want. You know, to open yourself. Pragmatically, insofar as it's within the realm of normal. But, you know, you're not going to... Look, I mean, especially with friends, with a partner, with the media, with the art you create, you want ultimately to be understood and to be able to communicate your thoughts or your intentions as best as possible. And if you are not actively trying to do that, if you're not actively trying to communicate your thoughts and intentions as best you possibly can, you will always feel unknown. You'll always feel alone in this world, right? And if you do communicate, if you are honest, it's going to create some friction. It's going to create, people aren't going to like you. It's going to cause some problems with people, right? Those are the risks we take in order to be understood. Fraggle, the waist, what's up? Jack Bradshaw. Being vulnerable emotionally before sexually helps massively with intimacy. It's true. It's true. You should be more... it's hard, man. It's hard. It's hard to sort of grok that out. Also, like the stream of yours coming in, that helps out massively. It's hard to grok that out. It's hard to grok out how to be vulnerable in a way that isn't taxing on the other person. Because it can go the other way. It can go sour really fast because you can meet somebody. Like, you don't want to be... If you're someone who's, if you're someone who's too vulnerable and too honest and too emotional, like, you don't want to be crying in, like, somebody's lap, within, like, weeks of meeting them, right? You don't want to be, you don't want to be immediately an emotional burden on somebody who isn't asking for that. As a man, this is difficult, right? I think men are expected to, and rightly so. You know, you can't be angry at the sort of world and culture you were born into. You have to take things as they are and meet people where they're at, in some senses. So it's hard. It's an emergent property. It's an emergent property that you can only figure out and grow from by experiencing it, right? What do you have Gendo Akari glasses? Are they the exact Gendo Akari glasses? Gendo. Oh, they are. I don't know if this wasn't intentional. I just bought these at a fucking market, but I'm here for it. This is the kind of look I go for. I'm like an Aryan Gendo Akari. I'll take that. Amen. Cringe is felt when you fear losing status by being associated with the person being cringy, and status signaling is rarely honest. It's true. It's true. Status signaling is rarely honest. I think we don't give the world... I think navigating social situations is far more complicated than we really give it credit for. And I do think as I've gotten older, I've realized that you cannot follow advice on how to navigate relationships or friendships or socializing or status. You just have to live it and figure it out from there. I think that's super important. I think it's really important you take those risks. I think it's important, like, you need to break a heart. You need to get your heart broken. You need to know what you want out of whatever relationships you're trying to get in your life. And the only way to figure out what you want is to try things, is to live it out. If you don't live it out, right? If you just try to live in a vacuum and stay in a bubble where you are always safe, right? You're never going to grow as a person. It's stasis. It's complete stasis, and I don't know. It's difficult, man. It's why I hate like the men's advice podcasts, because it's really, I think advice is really overrated. I think advice is like one of the most overrated social activities we to actively partake in, giving and receiving advice. If it's warranted, it's one thing, right? Like if your friend is seeking you for a second opinion on something, that's totally reasonable. That's totally fair. But just taking in unwarranted advice or actively seeking out advice on how to navigate things that you want out of life. You just have to take the risks. You have to fail. You have to feel bad. You have to get your heart broken. You have to feel rejected. You have to feel ostracized. And then you adjust and you grow from there. And it becomes a point where like I can't articulate to you what works well for me in life. Because it's idiosyncratic. It's unique to me. It's emergent based on my experience. And all I can do is encourage you to take the same risks and to experiment in the ways I have. Growth is painful, Fraggle. It's very important. Growth is extremely painful. It's upsetting. It's jarring. It hurts. It's potentially life destroying. There's no better way to destroy your ego than for who you think you are and who the world believes you are to collide. And when those things collide, it's very disrupting to you. But it's part of life, man. It's part of growing up. And if you don't have those experiences, you're gonna get stuck. You're gonna get stuck in life. You're never gonna grow. Personally, I like being wrong once in a while. Yeah, no, it's gonna be wrong. It's gonna be wrong. It's gonna be corrected. And it's good to surround yourself with people who will correct you. A flatterer versus a friend. Flatterers usually just want something from you. And they will treat you in a way that will keep you in their orbit, insofar as you are useful to them. That's what a flatterer does. I really like the way my light like reflects perfectly off the cross on my chest. I feel like that's nice. It's a nice feeling. I remember Red Bar saying something similar to you, where he called getting advice on socializing dark arts because they aren't learning naturally. Yeah, no, 100%. And this is something I'll always say because I've gone through this, and I think it was a growing experience to go through this. Is especially when you're getting into the red pill shit, right? One of the things you learn very, very early, if you follow like the red pill orthodox to a T, one of the things you learn very early is that most people are extremely easy to manipulate. And I equate it to like stealing, right? The reason most people don't steal all the time isn't because stealing is difficult. Stealing is incredibly easy. If you've ever stolen from a fucking Walmart or a grocery store, you know how easy it is to steal. Stealing is not a difficult thing, and it's very low risk. Again, you can steal from a Walmart. They're not going to put you in jail. You can most of the time you could walk out of the store holding the stolen merchandise, and there's going to be no repercussions, right? They're not going to chase you, whatever. Worst case scenario is you get banned for like 4 months from the fucking Walmart. The reason we don't steal is because it's like morally wrong, and you'll realize this if you're young. When I was younger and more into like the red pill orthodox, is you realize that yes, people are really easy to manipulate. It's easy to manipulate people's emotions. It's not difficult. It's not a sign of your skill or of your social ability or of your intelligence to be able to manipulate somebody into liking you or to manipulate somebody into sex or a relationship or manipulate friendships. It's just easy to do. And the reason we don't do it is because it's morally wrong, not because it's hard. Right? And it's really, I don't know, it's really important to remember that, especially if you're on the other side of it, is to don't do that. Be benevolent. You know, read 48 Laws of Power and use it for good. I think that's a good takeaway. Stole Warhammers as a kid. It was easy. LOL. Felt kind of bad using those minis in the playroom afterward. In the store playroom. Jesus Christ. Is it morally wrong to steal from a big company like Walmart? Yeah, I think you know, you want to go like full categorical imperative here. I think you should treat a Walmart like a small business. Like stealing is just socially disruptive and really destroys the social fabric of a society. Like a society that accepts theft is a bad society. And you know, at the end of the day, if you steal fucking eggs from Walmart, you're not really causing any harm at all. Like nothing bad will happen. Actually, there's gonna be not a single repercussion to anybody in that scenario if you steal eggs from a Walmart. It's just if everyone stole all eggs from all Walmarts, society would go off a cliff. So it's just like it's like voting. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like your vote doesn't matter, but it's like voting's a good thing and you should vote. So I think seeing it like that is a better way to see it. It's a way that's actually like makes logical sense, in my opinion. Again, just based on my life, based on the life that I've lived. 708, man. How we doing? How's everyone up to? You don't want to see Adam Conover's face in this stream? Epic millennial Adam Conover. Adam Conover. Okay, there's 3 types of millennials. Okay, there's 3 types of millennials. There are small, shy human being. There's quirked up Chungus. And there's epic memer. Those are the 3 groups of millennials. There's some overlap with small, shy human being and quirked up Chungus. There's some overlap there. But Conover's epic. Conover's an epic guy. Adam Conover is like Captain Awesome, epic awesome sauce guy, you know? He's not a quirked up Chungus. He's not a small, shy human being. I'd say we could probably say like Chad. I cannot believe these videos get so many fucking views. Oh my god. Also, I changed the side I was on. The other side was causing so many fucking problems. This is a much better side for me to be on. And the mic doesn't come out of the middle of the screen anymore. It's a nice feeling. I feel like I'm proper. These get so many fucking views. 83 videos. I have 62 videos. Finding love in the Hawk 2 a dating app. Man, it's so just like Foid content. It's so easy to access. It's so Book talk is getting worse. Like, man, it's crazy. It's crazy these videos still exist. Unschooling on TikTok. Okay, Chad's a quirked up Chungus. Okay, Chad is a quirked up Chungus. Small. Who's that? This chick. Is it? Yeah, this one here. This is more small, shy human being. This is ripoff Seption, the cheap world of Pal World clones. What the fuck? This is like being in a different universe, man. This is like I'm not walking on Earth anymore looking at these thumbnails. Yeah, they're fine. I'm not saying, look, I'm not gonna go and say these girls are bad or good. I have no strong feelings on these gals, but this is a side of the world that I have no concept of. I feel like I'm in China looking at these fucking thumbnails. Ollie Sunvia, she's a friend. She's a friend of the studio. Yeah, this is more small shy than quirked up Chungus. Ollie Sunvia is small shy. She's doing good. She's doing good. 1.2 mil. Yeah, she's doing fine. Good videos. Give me and then give me some epic guys. What in the world are these thumbnails? Hollywood. I know it's such a fun side. It's such a fun side of YouTube. There's some other ones I'm thinking of. Anna Fern. No, is this what I'm thinking of? No, not Anna Fern. Sorry, Anna Fern's. Has come by the studio. Oh my god, who am I thinking of? Oh my god, not Anna Fern. Tiffany Ferg. Yes. Tiffany Ferg. This is again, we're back into we're into quirked up Chungus territory. Yeah, this thumbnail, it's just so interesting. I love engaging with this stuff. It's so funny to me. DJ Pete Cobbler, some actual good YouTube channels you should subscribe to. I love this guy, actually. He used to be the host of Donut Media, and I followed Donut. It's like a car channel, so this is not in my niche at all. Yeah, he was the host of Donut Media. Then he started his own channel, and his own channel he's doing quite well on his own channel. Donut Media is great, but I don't know. He's interesting. What do I watch? I don't know what I fucking watch anymore, man. I watch Nikki Jakey. Any Nikki Jakey video that comes out, I will watch as soon as possible. This video is fucking amazing. Nikki Jakey's like the best to ever do it. I think he just makes perfect YouTube videos. Fucking phenomenal YouTube videos. They're so good. Who else do I watch? I gotta go through here. I gotta go through my homepage here and see who do I watch. Wait, subscriptions. Where's my subscribe page? Here we go. Subscriptions. What is in my subscriptions here? The Soy Pill. Any Soy Pill fans in the audience? Net Loss is pretty good. Net Loss is like 5 feet away from me right now in a different room, and I also I don't know if anyone knows, me and Net Loss are roommates. I don't know if that is if that's news to anybody. If there's any Net Loss fans in the audience, me and Net Loss live together. I've known him since we were 13 years old. We grew up together in Truro, Nova Scotia. Let's see what we got here. Dude, not so erudite. Kyla's a nice gal. I like Kyla a lot. She's been very kind. She's come by the studio. Any interaction with Kyla has been quite sweet. I think she's a good person. Fucking just sector talk. That loss. Who do I watch, man? I watch look. The funny thing is, I guess I'm in the video essay niche, but I actually only watch like watch and car videos on YouTube and like politics stuff. I don't watch any video essayists except for Nikki Jakey. There's nothing interesting here. The Palace. I'm subscribed to Hansa. Weltgeist. Is there any of these channels I would push? Any of these channels I would push 100%. Samson. So many subscriptions. Oh, Hoog. Hoog is great. Hoog is a really fucking good channel. Real Life Lore. Alex O'Connor. Yeah, these are some good channels here. I'm subscribed to BBC Nonstop Cartoons for some reason. Dean Withers. I'm so sick of Debate Bros, man. I'm so sick. I'm so sick of fucking... Oh, Let Me Know is really good. Let Me Know is good. Glitch Poachers is good. I should watch DJ Peach Cobbler. Because people have been saying that I would like his stuff for fucking years. And I don't watch him at all. What was I just saying? I forget what I was just talking about. Oh, debate. I'm so sick of debate, man. I think it's just not my thing. I think there's a need for it. There's a necessity. But I don't know. It's something I have no interest in, right? I know I make a lot of political videos, and I think I don't think my politics are masked at all. Like, I think most people can understand like what I believe in. I don't try to not be political at all. I'm like pretty overtly political most of the time. But I just like, I don't know. I have no interest. You'll never catch me on like a debate stream debating stuff. I'm too open. I think, and I've said this so many times about artists and people like with an artistic background. I mean, that's more me than anything, is like an artistic background. I'm way too open to do debate effectively. That's what I try to do on. It's like the environment I try to foster on Horseshoe Theory is like a more open conversation. I'm just not interested in gotcha. I'm not interested in owning people at all. And I take people where they're at. Like, I like talking to people. I think most people are pretty nice. I have yet to meet anybody that I truly despise. And I don't know. I feel like that's not my role in society. It's not my role as an educator and as a communicator and as an online content creator. My role is to not debate people. I'm nice. I'm open. I'm rather agreeable. I know who I am. And that's that. I'm gonna watch a DJ Peach Cobbler video because I've actually never seen a whole DJ Peach Cobbler video, but everyone seems to love him so much. I'm quite interested in the kind of content he makes. What should I watch? Wild Speculation. Bethesda is in trouble. He does video game stuff. What's his most popular video? 106 videos. Interesting. Did gaming stuff. Now he's breaking away from gaming stuff. Please watch. I can't do titles. It's important. Should I watch that? I'm begging you to stop caring. Oh, this looks good. This looks like it's up my alley.
Once a year, I make a video that I regret. And it's time. See what I wrote there on the computer, son? Does the extra bone in black people's ankles help them run faster? Pretty good, huh? What do you mean? Dad, do black people have an extra bone in their ankles? No, that's stupid. Then why are you asking people that? Well, to make them angry. So, how's the job search going? Really? You don't see how funny this is? I mean, no. You were slightly racist on the internet. Who gives a shit? No, it's not about that. Just wait for it. It'll happen any second now. Dad, we're going to get foreclosed on any sec. Oh, there it is. See, just read that. The question you have asked is very deeply offensive and can be traced back to a myth perpetuated by... Yeah, I'm not reading all of that. No one does. I'm certainly not going to. How long did it take for them to look up all that shit, you think? How mad do you think they got when they saw that stupid question? It took me 3 seconds to type out. They must have wasted 30 minutes, maybe even an hour of their life, so that they could win an argument with a person that doesn't really exist. Huh. That is sort of funny. Frightened? You should be. What you have just witnessed has grown into a multi-billion-dollar industry. It has underpinned successful marketing campaigns for Fortune 500 companies, built media empires which have become household names, and one day may, quite possibly, become the end of the internet. In this video, we are going to discuss the trolling industrial complex, the source of civil unrest which is tearing our nation apart and ruining all of your Thanksgiving dinners. Remember Jake Paul's gay little slap fight with the elderly man? That was very interesting. It obviously wasn't, but everything around it, like the entire reason it happened in the
I
first
forgot about
place,
that.
it's
Goddamn fucking fight. That was, oh my god. We threw a huge party to watch that fight. You know how disappointing that fight was? That was one of the most disappointing fights I've ever seen.
boxing match. But it obviously was not for boxing fans. Boxing fans don't tune into boxing matches because they want to see a specific person that they don't like.
Also, Jake Paul has just enough hair to not be bald.
But it obviously was.
And I'm saying this as somebody who has quite thin hair, and tries very hard to not go bald. If Jake Paul had one less hair on his head, he would be like very obviously going bald. But he is the exact precipice, at the perfect inflection point of amount of hair for him to seem like he's not going bald.
It's not for boxing fans. Boxing fans.
It's quite impressive, actually.
Don't tune into boxing matches because they want to see a specific
you know what I mean?
person that they don't like get their ass whooped. That's what people tune into like wrestling for, to watch the bad guy get beat up. But everybody tuned into this match.
Norwood will come for us all. And don't fight it. Get on a low dose of steroids. Something nice, like Anavar. Hit the gym 6 days a week and cut alcohol out, and you'll go from every man needs that full transition. Every man needs that full transition. By 40, you should be Tony Soprano maxing, and that's fine. Shave your head first, though. Very important. Shave your head at least once in your youth to make sure your head is not a weird shape, or else you'll end up looking like Mark Andreessen.
For that reason, and that reason alone, people watched this because they hate Jake Paul, and they wanted to see him lose. It had over 108 million viewers worldwide.
That's so fucked
Jake
up.
Paul made $40 million.
That's so fucked
in
up.
one night because you hate him, because you can't help yourself. And you know what really fascinated me about the whole thing? It was Jake Paul's entrance. It was straight out of the WWE. We live in frustrating times, where a myriad of special interest groups control our media and also keep parking a van outside my house. In this modern age, it's difficult to ascertain whether or not local...
I see the appeal with this guy, though. I do see the appeal with this guy. This is very... like, it's very schizo in a way that's sort of like Jake Paul's hair. It's almost too far. One more word out of place or weird timing and it would be too far. But it's just enough to be digestible, and that's quite important. I think that's the line I like to walk with my videos, is just enough. Just enough to not be completely fucking schizophrenic.
Logan Paul did skin a puppy on a live stream, or if this is mere slander spread by Bangladeshi lobbyist groups. With Straight Arrow News, you can get to the truth. I love how many of their news you can see Sari, saying was written or by serving. Before we could just being must define what trolling is. Trolling is not just being mean on the internet. It doesn't mean being a jerk. It doesn't mean arguing. The term actually comes from fishing. It has nothing to do with those fucking bridge gremlins or whatever the fuck. With trolling fishing, you put the bait on the line and you drag it behind your boat.
Didn't know that.
This is what trolling is. You put out...
No, it's not. What is he talking about? That he could gaslight me with that. He could fully gaslight with me. I would just accept anything he said there.
Bait in the form of something that someone just has to respond to. Something that makes them angry, yes, but in a way which forces a response. The goal is to get under their skin, make them angry, and then make them reply. Then you jerk them around a little. Andrew Tate needs no introduction anymore. However, my fiance watches my videos and she is too pure for this world. I've seen her Twitter. It's just otters and parakeets wearing sombreros. It's adorable. So here's a brief explanation. Andrew Tate says incendiary, misogynistic shit on the internet. He sells a certain lifestyle to his probably underage and definitely Indian audience. Fast cars, girls, fancy clothes worn exclusively.
I like how You ever seen that thing going around? It's like, how do you stop watching? It was like a green text, and it was like, how do I stop watching porn? And one of the responses was like, watching porn is the most Indian thing you can do. Look, that's pretty funny. I like Indians. You've seen my immigration video. I've buried the hatchet with the Indians. I like Indians. That's a very funny comment. I do think watching Andrew Tate is sort of like watching porn in the same sense that it's a very Indian thing to do.
Below the waist, that sort of thing. While I'm about to get into the performance of Andrew Tate, the character which he does play, and make no mistake, it is a character.
I am so smart. I operate on so many levels higher than the average man. You people are not thinking.
I should clarify that he does suck. Not to sound libtarded or nothing, but sex trafficking is bad. Behind the character, he's not a good guy, you know. All the same, Andrew Tate did not start out his internet presence in this way. His first big tweet was, "Never seen Star Wars. None of them. Never will. OMG, you're missing out, maybe. You're missing out on being a multi-millionaire."
I love this take because it's so deeply. I always thought about, look, I think as any man who takes in content, especially inflammatory content, they always picture like what they would say. I remember reading this tweet, and I always thought it's so funny because it's as someone who claims to be as tapped into the human psyche and society and the inner workings of the mind as Andrew Tate does, or any of the red pill people for that matter, because the hatred of media, the hatred of narrative, okay? The hatred of art and narrative is a deeply stereotypical red pill perspective. But to not have watched Star Wars and to be lacking the context of all Star Wars references is just shooting yourself in the foot. And not only that, as we all know, the Star Wars is the hero's journey. It's the Joseph Campbell hero with 1,000 faces, okay? I think understanding that narrative and watching that narrative play out over and over again is very important to understanding your own life as a young man. And to deny it outright is a waste of your time. You should participate in the canon insofar as it gives you the ability to just behave and discuss things like a normal person. If there is any reason to, it's not the enjoyment of Star Wars for the pure dopaminergic stimulus of the act of watching Star Wars. It's just like having the cultural context. I think like you should watch Lord of the Rings or like Friends for the same reason. It's really, look, no matter how much you hate media or how much you hate what you deem to be slop, you should participate in the emergent and broad pop cultural canon for the sake of just understanding context. Star Wars is silly. I get not engaging in the discourse around it. It is always shit. Sometimes. I mean, it depends on if you're talking to nerds. Look, this is a whole rabbit hole. Okay, it's like I was talking about earlier with taking risks and actualizing yourself. Right? I think if you don't take risks, you don't actualize yourself. Okay. Tangent. Give me 5 minutes here. Give me 5 minutes here. I often say there is, and fans of the stream, fans who start to understand my internal philosophy, my meta heuristics, will understand. I often say there is no you at the center. Okay? If you spend your life looking for a you at the center of yourself, as if there is a you to discover, you will not find it. You are a unfolding process reacting to stimuli, ever changing, dying and being reborn with every millisecond. Okay? There is no static you the way there is like a book character at the center of your soul. Okay? That being said, there is a you that reacts, and there is a you that has a set of character traits that like that appear again and again, a pattern that begins to unfold the more risks you take and the more of the world you engage with. Okay? Not everybody is meant to be a hyper disagreeable alpha male. Okay, some people hold different positions in society. Some people are led towards different positions and different archetypes in society. I am personally a very diplomatic person. You put me in a government. I'm not a president. I'm not a prime minister. I'm not a dictator. I'm a diplomat. That is like my natural proclivity is to build bridges, to be open, to be kind, to understand people. That's who I am. I know that because of how I've engaged with the world. I know that because of the risks I've took. I know that because of the situations I've put myself within. So if there is a you that emerges, it is not the you that is static, that likes the same things and acts the same in every situation. It is the you that reacts most aligned with their personality to whatever situation they're in. Okay? If you don't do that, the nerd archetype, the archetype of the person who defines themselves by the bands they like, the media they like, the games they like, they see that as like, oh, who I am is my collection of like pop culture references. Those people are like that because they don't give themselves the opportunity to engage with the world and find themselves. They don't give themselves the opportunity to take risks, to die and be reborn, and the struggle of rebirth and the struggle of experience, okay? They don't do that. They define themselves the way a book character is defined, by a set of reactions and traits and interests and appearances and clothing. I blame it on taking in too much media. When you don't understand like what a human being is supposed to be, when you don't understand what an ego is supposed to be, you are just a collection of interests. So when people talk about Star Wars and the discourse, I'm using Star Wars as an example, but you can use any piece of media here. When the discourse around a piece of media when somebody's discourse on a piece of media isn't the underlying philosophy, the archetypal story, or the context, like JJ's very good at like talking about media, not in a slice of life, like what is the show about within its own universe. JJ will talk about media contextually in terms of the society that produced the media, which I think is far more important. That's truly what you gain from interfacing with fiction, with a movie like Star Wars, is you're learning not only the context of the references, but also like you learn something about the society that produced that piece of media. The hero's journey, for example, is a very Western, deeply rooted in Judeo-Christian tradition that emerges over and over again. Not even Judeo-Christian, just deeply rooted in like Western society, right? You go back to the Minotaur, one of the very first stories ever written. Okay, the Minotaur is also the same. It's the hero's journey. It's the emergent. There's also a lot of like psychosexual stuff that goes on in the Minotaur. You know, you have the king leaves and the queen has sex with the beast, right? There's a lot of like that classic like Beauty and Beast psychosexual shit that emerges in the Minotaur as well. But you learn through engaging with fiction, you learn a lot more about like the psychic substructure of the society that produced it. And that's why you should engage with fiction. Okay? When you talk to people who talk about Star Wars and all they can talk about is like the lore of Star Wars, it's because they don't have like the depth of understanding to engage with like the reason why we engage with fiction. The reason why fiction exists. The reason why fiction exists isn't to reference deep lore idiosyncratic to the world of the fiction. The reason fiction exists is to farther understand like our own psyche and to farther understand like archetypes that exist within society. So I'm pro fiction. You should engage with fiction. And for Tate's take here, Tate's take to not engage with Star Wars because he thinks that Star Wars is about just referencing Star Wars itself and that's why you should watch it is a wrong take. Anybody who thinks that is wrong, okay? Objectively.
Keep your movie. This went viral. An entire Drew Gooden video was made about it.
No, I don't think that's right.
It's easy to see why. It attacks a large and passionate group, and then makes an insane assertion, opening up Tate to easy attacks from that same group. These attacks will raise engagement and ensure virality. It really is crazy how far back this tweet was. It was a year before the pandemic, long before anyone knew who the fuck this guy was. I liked wrestling a lot as a kid. In wrestling, there's a term which you probably know, the heel. Wrestling, being essentially a soap opera with slightly more sexual tension, is all about the drama. The storylines which build up to these big events. The heel is the bad guy, the mustache-twirling villain who exists to either beat up the good guy and make the audience mad, or get beat up by the good guy and make the audience happy.
Anybody watch wrestling? I've never watched wrestling. I know Justin Wang, I think, is the person I can think of who is most into wrestling. If you follow Justin Wang on like Instagram, he'll post like 20 stories a day and half of them are wrestling related. but I have no context of wrestling. I never watched it as a kid at all. I also heard wrestling's really good now. I heard wrestling is back in a big way. I wish I enjoyed it, man, but I have I'm very selective about what I spend my time viewing, and it takes me like. Did you like that pause screen? I'm very selective about what I spend my time viewing, and it takes a lot of work and a lot of thought for me to like watch a whole TV show. Like I thought about watching The Sopranos for 8 months before I decided that Sopranos was worth my time to watch. Like sports, I only watch playoff hockey. I don't watch any other sports in during the year except for playoff hockey, because to me that's the only like thing I can justify watching, because I like being. I was explaining this to JJ, okay? My whole life is in context to JJ. I think it's because like when JJ was just in Toronto for a month, and I talked to JJ so much that like JJ is like my fucking JJ is like my. I like to think we're like each other's void, where it's just like anything is on the table to talk about, and like we communicate the same way of just like everything's sort of interesting and everything's like very communicable. So, yeah, I was trying to convince JJ to come watch the Game 7 with me in Toronto, at a sports bar. He was apprehensive to go, and I was like, JJ, it's not about watching the sports. It's about like being in a room with everyone who's excited and like feeling the energy. Like that's the enjoyment of sports. Like watching sports by yourself is kind of dumb. Watching sports with 8 people in a sports bar full of people who are all there to watch sports, and when a goal gets scored, the entire bar fucking erupts with roaring cheers and an energy you cannot find anywhere else in any other context. That's the beauty of sports. It's extremely pro-social. Playoff hockey. Anyway, playoff hockey is the best sporting event of the year. Playoff hockey is the fucking keynote sports. It's like there could not be a single better representation of like sports and like the joy of sports than playoff hockey. It's so violent and fast and like disrespectful and aggressive. It's so good.
Andrew Tate, the character, is a heel. I'm not suggesting that he doesn't, on some level, believe the things he says. I'm not suggesting he's hiding a gender studies degree in his tiny shorts. Let's acknowledge the other side of the Andrew Tate character. The entire reason the character works in the first place. Drew Gooden made a video on this tweet, as I said. He took that sweet, sweet bait, but that was only the beginning. There have been endless videos about Andrew Tate since he honed his character to a fine edge, all of which made the makers of these videos money. Obviously, there's nothing wrong with Drew Gooden, it's good bait, a harmless response video, whatever. I do, however, take a lot of issue with Drew Gooden's video where he said that Kosovo was not rightful Serbian land, but hey, the media has an anti-Serbian bias. What else is new? Did you know we shot down a plane once, Now, the BBC reporting on Tate's recent legal issues, for example, there's nothing wrong with that. That's news. But if you're making a video about how Andrew Tate is a big, mean man, then you're doing exactly what he fucking wants.
You people are not thinking.
Making you either an idiot or someone that just doesn't give a shit and is just willfully profiting off of this, spreading his message, playing directly into his hands for whatever pittance you're getting paid.
The fact that you know him, that you've already passed judgment on him, means he's already won. He tops the popularity contest that is online e-celebrity through his infamy.
I suspect most people just love making long videos about how they're morally superior to the Romanian sex trafficker. Wow, when you put it like that, it sounds like a massive waste of everyone's fucking time, doesn't it? You're a better person than the Romanian.
Have I made an Andrew Tate video? Also, did someone see? Did someone Who's that?
It's me.
Oh, what's up?
It's me, everyone's favorite. Beloved character, Dreg. I don't know why I'm introducing myself like JJ McCullough would introduce me.
Beloved character, award-winning character.
Award-winning character.
Award-winning children's entertainer, J-Reg.
Dreg. Well, uh-oh, talking about sex. Oh, I don't know what I walked into here.
We're watching a DJ Peach Cobbler.
Oh, DJ Peach Cobbler's a genius, and we're going to see him at VidCon. I just want to show everybody that I'm in 1.4. Wait, hold on. 1.4. It's not showing up. It's not showing up.
Get closer. Get closer. There you go.
1.4 millimoles of ketosis. Those in the know, because I've recently became transhuman, and I put a. Anyway, I'm not gonna derail this fucking. You just go ahead.
Okay.
and sex trafficker. Recently, CoffeeZilla covered Andrew Tate's crypto
cheers.
scam. Wow, I can't believe the investment the Romanian sex trafficker told me about.
You're going in the title.
Wait, there's no small shares.
It's now talking about sex with J-Rig.
Oh no.
I'm doing this very intentionally. I'm sucking in your gooner audience.
Anything for views.
You have one video of Andrew Tate in the thumbnail, the one time about art being post-woke. How fucking old is that video? That's a really old video. I mean, Andrew Tate's that old.
How old is it?
That was like the month I moved to Toronto.
Yeah, Andrew Tate's that old.
That's fucking crazy.
He's even older than that. I think he's like 35. So
He's like 38, man.
38. Wow. Okay, let's.
wasn't legitimate. Listen, I don't feel bad when someone that isn't elderly gets scammed by a crypto coin. I've played the meme stock game, actually made a little bit of money on Bed Bath & Beyond, so that was pretty nice. When you buy Tate's daddy coin, you know that shit's gonna crater.
What?
But you think you're gonna luck out and leave someone else holding the bags. I sold that Bed Bath & Beyond stock for $25 a fucking share, and that shit was bankrupt 2 months later. I robbed whoever bought that shit. But we both knew what was going on. We both knew the game that was being played. But back to the CoffeeZilla video. Compared to, say, making a long-winded, morally righteous video about how Andrew Tate is a bad guy, this is nothing. It's a scam. He explains how it's a scam. He talks about how Tate used to disparage crypto, whatever. But my God.
Did you watch Voidzilla?
Yeah.
It's so depressing now.
Yeah, he's just like, crime is legal.
He's like, oh, another one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to like watch
Blackfeld.
all of his new, all the new Voidzilla videos, and it just got so. That's how I feel when I talk about like politics and shit on my streams. I'm just like, oh, another bad thing happened.
Yeah.
Oops. Yeah, it's disheartening.
Ethos Logos asks, what do you guys invest in? I give all of my money to landlords. So they don't tell you that. They don't tell you that's a hack you can do. You can invest in landlords. And by invest, I mean give all your money to them.
I have no investments. Did you know that about me?
I think I did know that.
I have zero investments.
Well, you're investing in making your bank account go to zero by spending hundreds of dollars on dates.
Yeah. Paycheck to paycheck, no debt.
Yeah.
That's my philosophy.
It just finds a way out of your wallet one way or another.
It does. I make sure, like when I do my monthly budget, I budget to like go to zero.
Yeah.
I don't budget to save any amount or invest any amount. And sometimes that takes a lot of effort.
Right. What happens when tax season approaches?
I don't do my taxes.
Oh, that's what they don't tell you. That's what they don't tell you. You can not pay your taxes, and there's no tax prison in Canada. They can't do anything about it.
Yeah. You know, people went
What are they gonna do? Garnish your wages?
No. You know, people went to tax prison last year in Canada.
How many?
30.
Oh, that's a non-zero amount.
I
Did
know,
your
but
birthday wish come true?
birthday wish come true.
I don't know what that means.
No, that I was looking at the average amount of tax fraud for people who went to tax prison in Canada was like over 500,000.
Really?
Yeah. So you're fine, man. We're small potatoes with our tax fraud.
I hope I am one day making enough money to go to jail for tax fraud.
You will be. There's money
Really?
there. Yeah, you will be. You're a top one. You're a 1%er. We're in the 1% of men. We're the top 1% of boys.
Boys.
Of boys.
Of global boys.
We are in the top. We are conclusively in the top 1% of global boys.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we should be.
The 1,000 fucking videos talking about CoffeeZilla, talking about Andrew Tate, talking about crypto. This is an industry, an entire food chain surrounding a fucking troll who posts bait. And what I struggle with understanding is what part of the food chain knows what's happening. Clearly the audience, unfortunately in this metaphor, the bottom feeders, I'm sorry guys. Clearly the audience doesn't get it. You cannot beat Andrew Tate if you're talking about him. You do not beat the heel when you drop down from the top of the cage and body slam him. That's why he's there. That's his whole point. But of course, what does Tate get out of this? He gets marketing. Insane amounts of marketing. A level of marketing that you really cannot pay for. I see his name on the internet more than I see
I have seen
Fortune
this video.
500 companies' names on the internet. And you may say, it's bad publicity, and I do believe there is such a thing as bad publicity. But the fact is that a big part of his appeal to his fan base, the people that buy all this shit, they love that he's this whipping boy for anyone with a modicum of decency. They love that you hate him. That is his entire appeal. When I was 14 and liked South Park, the church moms in my neighborhood hating it made me like it all the more.
We're gonna hang out
His
with DJ
primary
Peach Cobbler at
audience
VidCon.
is edgy
Are we?
14-year-olds.
Is he staying with us?
He's not staying with us, but we are gonna hang out. He's gonna be at VidCon.
I'll be around. His little soy pill.
Yeah.
The beloved soy pill.
Yeah. Oh, actually, he wanted to stay with us, but we ran out of space.
Oh, fuck. We're too popular.
Fuck.
I was trying to explain to my mom how cool I was today, and she, just is too old to grasp it.
Yeah. Well, that's probably for the best. Because there's enough people out there that will be impressed by the social media people, and you don't need your mom.
I want my mom to think I'm doing well.
Yeah, yeah. Although the only thing boomers respect is the paycheck.
I just want my mom to think I'm doing well. I'm trying to explain to her who JonTron is.
Yeah.
So many times.
Yeah.
And she just doesn't grasp it.
As long as she says that's nice, dear.
We need a real Hollywood celebrity by the VidCon party.
Yeah.
Does anybody know, like BB No Money? He could come by.
JJ has a studio with Derek. You know Derek?
Yeah.
Derek's friends with BB No Money.
There we go. We got the BB No Money
Yeah.
connect.
Also, I just met Anthpo, who did a event with BB No Money.
Okay, so
New York.
we're close to BB No Money.
Yeah, we're like one connection away from BB No Money.
And Buckingham knows him.
Buckingham knows him. Okay.
Yeah, Buckingham knows him. And there we go. We're three 1 degrees away from BB No Money. That's all we need, Greg.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm remembering that I Peach Cobbler messaged me about if he could bring friends to the house, and I'm going to tell him yes.
Oh yeah, I want all the friends.
You do not win them over by appealing to their sense of decency. They probably have tried fucking half the furniture in their house. This Sunday, two internet people complain at each other, live from YouTube Stadium. Alright, this is the part of the video that actually might get me in trouble, but I'm pretty sure this cultural moment has passed. I implore you to remember the types of videos I make. I've made over 100. I've been doing this for almost half a decade now. They range from movie discussion to game discussion to satirical news stuff to shitposts to, of course, my bread and butter, the unhinged history videos. When Disney cast a black
Wait,
person, of course, my bread
Send
and butter,
DJ Peach
the
Cobbler
unhinged.
this image.
What, with you in it?
Yeah, me streaming, watching him.
The JonTron Gambit did not produce a Windows-compatible paste kit. Sad.
Compatible paste kit. I don't know what that means.
Compatible PasteKit. PasteKit is Max's app,
Oh,
which is an excellent app. Anyone watching with a Mac that makes videos or does really any kind of creative work should look up PasteKit. It lets you just copy paste video, sound, images right into your video editor or your music editor or whatever you use.
And it's a flat price.
Flat price, not a monthly stupid subscription you pay once. I use it literally with every video I make now. I just copy paste them right into the video editor. It saves me a lot of time.
Unhinged history videos. When Disney cast a black person as the Little Mermaid, that was bait. Do I have a problem with it? Well, absolutely not. I don't care about the Little Mermaid. But I want you to consider the marketing they got from this. The endless reactions to the news, and then reactions to the reactions. Disney does not do things lightly. And while sure, I bet a great many young black women were inspired by this story of... I have no idea what The Little Mermaid is about. I did not watch Disney movies as a kid. I watched wrestling and South Park and ISIS execution videos. But you see, I'm in a sketchy place now here. What then, is casting a black gay or front hold person in any role bait? Just because at Mein Kampf Uwu on X got mad, does that mean a casting choice is nothing more than a marketing stunt? No. I am progressive. I do remember Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech where he said that he had a dream that there'd one day be an Asian in Star Wars, and I'm happy to see that we have achieved his lofty goals. Left-wing casting bait is very elegant in this way. By merely acknowledging what they're doing, You look like a dick. It's almost a dare. This is who they cast as Juliet in a recent stage production. Do you have something to say, you piece of sh? Some bait is so obvious, I simply cannot see how you can perceive it as anything else.
I remember my grandmother saying to me, I don't care what they tell you in school, Cleopatra was black.
As a proud black Israelite, I cannot wait for the Black Moses documentary and later Yakub spinoff. Anyway, the point I'm trying to illustrate here is that the reaction is the marketing. Media companies are sharks, and the based YouTubers and Twitter mouth breathers are those weird fish that attach to them and eat dead skin. They have a mutually beneficial relationship. Entertainment companies hire sexual and racial minorities in certain roles that were formerly occupied by mostly redheads for some fucking reason in order to bait right-wingers into giving them massive amounts of free publicity.
This is true.
Do you think
This fucking guy.
I think he's overstating the intentionality of it, but I think it's what do you mean was Horseshoe Theory Pod dead?
Is Horseshoe Theory Pod dead?
He just had a
What
okay.
are the
I just
future
did
plans for the
timestamps for
podcast?
the JJ Drag video, which is coming out now, and I thought it was a good episode. I was a little worried because I was thinking back on it and I was like, oh, that was a bad conversation. But then I listened to it again and I realized it was a good conversation.
You wanted it to be a bad conversation.
I know. I open it by saying this is going to be a bad conversation, but I think ironically it was a good conversation. So that'll be out soon as Brogan records the intro for it.
Oh yes.
And then it's a good convo. I make a long list of all of the JJLs that have happened over the last 5 years, including AI getting really good and disproving him about AI flatlining. And now he uses AI in his videos. I talked to him about how Canada-US relations have gone down, et cetera, et cetera.
Speaking of Disney crimes, feelings on the Lilo and Stitch reboot, literally forgetting Ohana and having Lilo taken away by Child Protective Services.
Cricket told me about this. Did you hear about this?
No, I didn't watch it.
Okay, so the ending of Lilo and Stitch, spoilers. The whole.
I would like to say, first and foremost, Lilo and Stitch is my favorite childhood franchise.
Oh, really?
Like,
So you know how it ends, right? Where they're like, she's about to get taken away by Child Services, but then gets saved, and she stays with her older sister.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
They change that so that she does get taken away by Child Services.
Why?
Because the older sister can now live a single girl boss life and become a marine biologist.
Actually?
Yeah.
You're not joking.
No, yeah, I'm not joking.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that's not even woke. That's just horrible.
I know. But the idea is like, you shouldn't have to be a single mother at 18, and that's what the government is for. The government should take away the kid and give it a proper life. And yeah, no, I'm not joking. That's it. Also, Cricket was talking about it because she's indigenous, and Lilo is an indigenous character. So yeah, and there's a big problem with indigenous kids getting snatched up by the government.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
yeah.
That's such a good movie.
Yeah.
How'd they fuck that up so bad?
Yeah.
Dude, I didn't fucking...
Indigenous people can trust the state with their children.
Aren't they not even Hawaiian? Aren't the characters like not Hawaiian either?
I thought they were supposed to be Hawaiian indigenous, but I don't know. I don't remember the original.
Oh, sorry, I gotta look this up. What? Lilo and Stitch. Cast. Not. Oh, she's Hawaiian. That's good. I'm assuming this girl is Hawaiian. Anyway, okay, sorry, fuck. Really? That's crazy, man. Did you ever watch the TV show?
Yes.
The TV show
I saw some of it, yeah.
The TV show was great.
Yeah, I liked it.
I
liked when they teamed up with Recess. Did you see that?
Yes, I saw it. So good. Fuck. I like when the second movie, where they're like, "Hey, so Stitch is Experiment 626. What happened to the other ones?" And they find the other ones, and I'm like, I like things with numbers in ascending order that all look the same but slightly different. That's my favorite set of objects. I like objects that all look the same but have like numbers that classify their small differences. Okay, and then when the show came out and they were like, we're gonna keep doing this, we're gonna keep finding objects for you with different numbers with slight differences, but they all belong to the same object set. That really excited me. I loved that show.
Okay.
Did you know Lilo and Stitch is huge in Japan, like independently?
I did not know this.
There's like a 6-season Japanese-only show that's like independently massive in Japan. Who's this guy? Comic Bra. It'll be interesting to see how film critics analyze movie casting in our current cultural context of the years from now.
Look up Comic Bra.
Look up Comic Bra.
Yeah, I bet he has videos about comics. I'll be very surprised if I'm proven wrong by this.
Comic Bra. Comic Bra. Comic Bra. I'm looking you up on my second monitor.
Just in case it's all pornography. No video. So there's a story here. Comic Bra.
Oh, this is a
Comic Bra retired his channel. Wow. See, and Comic Bra thought he could just leave a little comment and we wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't have to relive that trauma.
That great checkmark haunts you for life, man.
Yeah.
You'll have that great check mark forever, no matter what you do.
Do you want to engage with the substance of what he said, or do you want to just get distracted by the check mark?
I like check marks, but I do agree that it is an interesting concept. Like,
How film critics analyze movie casting in our current cultural context 50 years from now. Yeah, I don't know. I think
I mean, woke is pretty much dead.
yeah,
right?
here's my prediction. 50
Yeah.
50 years from now, here's how we're analyzing new movie casting choices. Okay, we'll all be horribly radiated and we'll have like 3 heads. And we'll be like, what more 3-headed representation? But then some people will still have the bionic implants from 2030, but then the society collapsed and it's been 20 years of apocalypse. And then the bionic people will be like, no, more 4-armed representation. That's my prediction.
Okay.
Is JJ joining the sex conversation? No, unfortunately not.
Wait, it's the wrong link.
Think that these companies haven't noticed that this is what happens? Massive media companies put women, minorities on the hook at the end of a line so that the biggest dicks on the internet can tear them apart, and I'm the bad guy for saying they deserve better. Well, Mrs. Black Woman, I'm pleased to say that we've got just the role for you. A role in which you fight for your rights against tyrannical oppressors. You are going to inspire so many young women. Wow, that's great. Am I gonna play a great black artist who persevered through horrible prejudice like Ella Fitzgerald, or a civil rights activist like Rosa Parks, or Queen Boudica? Boudica? A Celtic queen who led an uprising against her Roman oppressors. You know, I don't know if this will actually be good for my career. Oh, but you haven't even heard the tagline we're gonna put on the poster. Slay Queen. Anyway, I suggest you move to a highly secure area. This is a game that everyone all over the world is playing now, from Fortune 500 companies to influencers.
DJ Cohen asked, would you rather be white or gay?
White or gay? Am I supposed to like answer that question?
One of those.
It's important that the people at home understand Dreg's response to this question.
One of those things.
That's going to improve their life?
Yeah.
Is that going to improve their life?
Improve
Brogan?
their life. It's an interesting
Oh,
question because
okay.
one of those things is it's objectively much harder to be gay than it is to be white. Okay. I'm already white. I guess you're the non-white one here.
I'd rather be gay.
You'd rather be gay than a cracker.
Yeah, I'd rather keep my current olive skin complexion and become a gay.
I'd rather just be. I think being gay would be great. Honestly.
What race would you be if you're gay? Black.
Black and gay.
Black and gay. That's obvious. That's not even a question. There's nothing to consider there.
Cricket hard launch when? Also, do Canadians really not make wishes when they blow out their birthday candles? That's a staple of American childhood.
I make wishes.
Yeah, you're a wish maker.
I make wishes when I blow my candles out. No, that's a lie.
So are we going to talk about sex or what?
That's a lie, Greg.
Talking about sex?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about sex.
I came here to talk about sex, and I've been watching admittedly very good DJ Peach Cobbler video essay.
You want to talk? What do you want to do, Greg?
I don't know. You came up with some hot take about sex that you've already ranted about.
No, I've just been thinking about sex a lot. Okay, what do you think about this tweet? I've been thinking about this. I made this tweet earlier, Greg. I made this tweet earlier. What do you think about this tweet?
That's a real wall of text. Is this an AI of you?
No, JJ drew this.
Oh wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
Wait, click it. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
JJ drew this. It's my new stream thumbnail.
It's a banger.
Yeah, thank you. Well, thank JJ. I think JJ did a great job. I didn't even know Drake was black. So, what do you think about
I
this?
just said I wanted to be black and gay. If I had to pick a different race and a different sexuality,
I'd be Indigenous Australian and gay.
that would be very complicated.
There's
for
probably
you.
like 15 of those people on
That would be
Earth.
very difficult for you. Okay, the West is committed to sexual openness in the most Western way possible. Quantity, not quality. We don't have open and honest discourses about sex in any meaningful way. My generation is stuck in a loop of promiscuity, flakiness, and a lack of ability to commit. Sex has never been easier to access. Any fairly normal person can weave a colorful tapestry of sexual partners and mediocre experiences, all missing the depth and self-actualization that's supposed to be achieved with sexual openness. We simulate sexual openness while remaining deeply repressed and uncomfortable with the concept of intimacy. We never give ourselves a chance to understand who we are, what we don't like, and how we create intimacy in relationships. We act as if sex exists in a universe separate from our daily lives, a duality of mind and body. We speak of the sex we have in the abstract, never in specifics. We refuse to admit that a great relationship may, in fact, hinge on the quality of the intimacy between partners. We're more open yet more repressed than ever. This is because bad sex is shallow and insincere, simple transaction between parties. Easy to get, requires no work, adds nothing to your life. Good sex is vulnerable and honest. It can even border into cringe if we are too vulnerable. The most dreaded state for anyone in Gen Z. We avoid sincerity like the plague. It's not a gender issue. It's not red pill. It's a normal hetero dude perspective on what I've witnessed in my adult life. I want to commit to having more open and honest discussions about sex with people I'm closest with, if it's warranted, of course. I especially believe straight men specifically need to be more open and honest with themselves, for they're the ones who seem the least integrated. Everything is pornographic. Nothing is erotic. I'm an anonymous Twitter user, and then you liked your own post here.
Yes.
And then Soy Pill says sex is never. There's no.
He ratioed me a bit with this response.
But there's no way the Soy Pill isn't. He's like getting laid all the time. He has a girlfriend, doesn't he?
He must.
This is even funnier knowing that he does fuck.
It's a really good fucking post.
Yeah. Oh, and he's currently debating Andrew Wilson's wife on the death penalty
With Iridate.
Oh wow, good for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I've never had sex personally, so I don't know, but
Okay. You're just thinking about it.
yeah, I was thinking about it.
I don't know. I think it's an interesting concept. I think there's not enough sexual, like our concept of sexual openness is just like fucking,
Yes.
and not actually like the depth of experience that comes with sex.
Not using it as a form of connecting with someone.
Yeah, and I don't even mean this in like a. I mean it's it depends on the individual, but I don't even mean this in a way in which like I don't know, men have to like own, or there's a loyalty thing. I think you can have platonic really good sex that's like actually like add something to your life. I think it's really important.
Platonic sex.
Not you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Like not like you're not gonna get married.
Yeah. But you have platonic sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have platonic sex.
Yeah, that exists.
You can have friend sex.
Yeah. I've been more open recently. Like not open relationships.
Yeah.
Yeah. I switched with you. I switched positions with you.
What do you mean? We've established I've never had sex before.
You're the monogamy pilled one now.
I love monogamy.
I still, yeah. If I really like somebody, I like
Monogamy doesn't love me though.
Monogamy loves you. The take on cringe is true. We are all don't repress your emotions until it comes to cringe. Then it's kill cringe. 1-1. Kill cringe! ! Accidentally put a 1. Unironically,
Yeah,
the answer to many
that's
societal
true.
issues is
Well, because I think this is right. Sincerity, Gen Z shies away from sincerity. And people often look at this and they're like, sad, we should learn how to be more open and vulnerable. If we were more open and vulnerable, someone would invent irony again, and then, it's a pattern of that person has an advantage over everybody else. You need to be a little closed off to some things. What we need is the ability to engage sometimes with things that are actually important. We can't engage with everything. There's too many things. We need some ironic distance from all the shit that's going on. Because I don't really trust someone that has a very strong opinion about literally everything all the time. I don't trust them.
Yeah.
And that's not how people work. So yeah, we need to be able to turn that off, I think. And that's what irony is. It's just like recognizing it's a tool, and either you're using the tool to live a better life, or the tool is using you, and then you're irony poisoned, and then everything you say is just nonsense dribble. But yeah, I mean, I think, in regards to sex, I think you're right. I think we could probably, we talked about this. There's kind of like a separation in sex where you're like, you'll hook up with someone and you won't even talk about the fact that you have had sex, or that you're gonna have sex again.
yeah.
I wouldn't know because I've never had sex, but this is what I hear from people.
Is you being a virgin like in your channel's canon?
I've never talked about sex on my channel,
Oh, so for all intents and purposes.
so I'm just inventing that now that I'm a virgin.
Okay. Greg's a virgin.
Yeah.
With that jawline. Look at that. It's fucked up. Dreg is eunuch.
My balls.
My balls.
My balls.
You have to do a higher voice.
My balls.
My ball. You're Castrato.
My balls. My balls are gone, so I can sing the song in falsetto.
That's good. That's the way it should be. We need more eunuchs. Society needs to bring back the eunuchs. Stop smoldering. There you go. Loosen back up. There you go. That's better. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I think the duality thing is what really got me. When I really pieced that together of just like having a. I don't know. It's weird to even be like to be with somebody for a long time and to date somebody for a long time and then to like never like reference your own intimacy with each other in any meaningful way or in a way that is like congruent with the rest of your life. It's like, oh yeah, we're this couple and here are the things that we care about as a couple, and then sex for some reason exists in like a different universe than that, and you're still like deeply uncomfortable discussing sex with each other. I find really fascinating. Right? It's weird. It's like yeah, I don't know. It's like the concept of like the different atmosphere. Like when you're having sex with somebody and your like perception of reality splits into like sex world. Where it's like, oh, this is like not me. Like I'm not me anymore, and this is not part of my like. This is not a continuation of like the relationship I have with this person. This is just we do this, and then that makes it far more pornographic. Like that makes it far more like dirty and objectifying than just being like, oh, I'm actually like, I'm not, this isn't sex. I'm like intimate with somebody I know deeply.
It's so nice to see Greg reclaiming his special flower after the whole 30+ body count thing. We support him in waiting until he finds his soulmate to share that moment. Gobless.
You regained your flower.
I've never lost my flower. I'm a virgin.
You've never been deflowered?
No.
I fucking hate that. That's just, that, you know, people talk about like moist.
Moist.
Like moist is my least favorite word.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Flower.
That's horrible.
Well, it's very yonic.
Yonic?
Yeah, it's like phallic, but for broads.
Phallic's funny.
I see you have your nicotine gum on a bottle cap that you're now, you know, show the audience what you're doing here.
I want you to use nicotine gum stuck to a bottle cap and I'm twisting a butterfly knife into it. Passively. You know, Greg, I think we should find like a sex tier list.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No, you're not locking me in here for longer. I just came in as a quick little drop in.
Let's see what I can.
I've been productive all day.
What about this one?
That's gender.
The gender tier list.
Yeah.
Position tier list.
Okay, that's interesting.
Places to have sex in tier list.
None of these are particularly good.
Bed, couch, stairs, laundry room, public bathroom, abandoned balcony, living room floor.
What about a sewer? A sewer's not on here.
Tent.
What about Auschwitz? They didn't put that in there.
Toilet, library, Ferris wheel.
What about jail?
Bus.
Prison?
There's gotta be prison on here.
No, prison's not on there.
Laundry.
Prison shower room is Zed.
Sexual pet names tier list.
No, none of these are good. You're not going to find any good ones on the first page of Google. You're going to find them in the depths of x.com. See, it's lost the plot by page 6.
Sex positions tier list, community rankings.
I don't think.
I do this one. You're a virgin, so you can just guess.
Sex is icky. Sex is gross and bad. This one's okay. Bad. Sex is bad. In general.
Yeah. You're sticking with this one?
This one is slightly better because it's not P and V. This one's not P and V either. I guess oral. Oral, if you have to do it, this is slightly better.
Okay. You're sticking with that?
Yeah.
Okay. There we go. Oh yeah, jerking off. Jerking off is S, everything else is an F.
Hell yeah, brother. Because I'm a virgin. Okay, I'll let you be, I think.
Okay.
Have a good stream. But wait, hold on.
What?
I want to show everybody that I am in.
Were you 1.5?
Oh no, it fell to 1.3. My millimoles, my ketone millimoles fell to 1.3. That's unfortunate. When I was sitting down, I have to move around.
Okay.
I gotta go for a walk.
Go for a walk. Stay fasted. All right, gang, we're back. Now it's just me again. Let me turn my gain down a little bit. There we go. How's that? $10 for me to actually do this tier list. You have 1 minute. And I will be as sincere as possible. How about that? I'm mid-functioning, so if not, you won't last a minute. Hey, Art Chad, this month I've been burnt out on life and work. Hope you're doing well. Young madmen. You know when you're burnt out, I don't actually know what to do. When you're burnt out. I've never figured out how to deal with burnout effectively. One of these days I will. One of these days I will learn how to deal with burnout effectively. As of now, I have no fucking clue how to deal with burnout effectively. Get a win. Burnout is repeated failure or repeated work with no boon. So go get a win for yourself. Whether that be a vacation, a date, a good video, go get a win.
Fine. But it's getting clipped at a later date.
Okay. We're doing it. We're doing the tier list. How do I reset here? Oh fuck. Okay. We're going sincere mode with this one. Thank you for the 10. A cat. That's kind of you. That's how I do this. That's how I keep going. Fuck. Okay. I'm going against my whole principle here. I said I wanted to have more open discussions. Now I'm immediately pent up. S tier. Sorry, perfect tier. Okay. Perfect. Teardrops on my Lambo. Perfect. Good. That's okay. That's just good. Perfect. That's just good. That's perfect. Just good. That's okay. There we go. That's my objective list. That's my objective list. This is my list based on my lived experience. Based on this random tier list I just found. Screenshot. I'm not going into this. I stand by this. I'd argue this with anybody. Harsh but fair. Nothing is bad. No, nothing's bad. Are you fucking kidding me? Nothing's this level either. Pretty good. I think I like it. There we go. That's fair. Disagree? Hey, do your own tier. Everyone, here, copy. There we go. Take that, put that, use that in the Discord, and make your own and share them in the Discord. How about that? Where are we going back? Let's go back to this. I want to finish this DJ Peach Cobbler video. Thank you for the 10 there, Mr. Acat. Sex is good. Sex is class. It is class.
And when you get mad at some dumb bullshit on your phone, you lose the game. You let the
Fuck, I lost the game.
marketing companies and influencers win because I have been a troll for the love of the game for a very long time. I know the rule. It is the only way to win the game. You do not win by hitting the heel. They want to be review bombed. They want you to make videos about them. They want you to share screenshots of their stupid fucking tweets. Here's how you win the game and make the troll mad. You win by not caring. The rule with trolling is that the first person to care loses. Feel the bait.
The ones with eye contact are the best ones. 100%. Used to use this, my friend used to have this joke when he would go, I was friends with I lived with a guy who would just, he would have like someone new over every night or go to someone's house. And he would call it staring at the wall. Because he was more into the, I don't know, he was like a gooner, he was like a sex gooner. He wasn't actually into the act of it. He just liked nutting. So he said he'd go to people's houses and he would just like stare at the wall the whole time. He would never actually like engage with them in any intimate manner. And I think it's best to avoid those scenarios. That's a dark place to be. That's worse than fucking dude. That's worse than beating off, man. That's harsh. Who? You wouldn't know him. It's a guy I used to live with in Halifax. No one pivotal to the CCC are you.
Wash over you. Feel it roll off your back like rain rolling off the back of a frog in the rainforest. Imagine the inadequacy of their genitals.
Sorry, never mind, forget that.
They have small penises and wide-set vaginas. That is the source of their anger. But your genitals are perfect. Congratulations, by the way. My personal favorite is that podcast that gets a room full of OnlyFans girls together, and the girls all say horrible, horrible shit, so that lonely young men will pay $10.99 a month to watch them get hate fucked on their OnlyFans. We are a profoundly sick society. Do you understand? All right, I've got one more.
Has anyone? Ooh, this is a good. I'd be really interested in seeing this stat. If this is a stat that could be gathered, and let me know if this has been done. But if the OnlyFans models who go on the whatever podcast see a growth in their OnlyFans pages after their appearance, that would be really fascinating. That must have been like tracked somewhere, because I feel like that must happen, right? If the fucking they do, the video mentions it. Yeah. That's so fucking fascinating. God, that's fascinating in such a sick fucking way. Because I'm pretty anti OnlyFans. I'm pretty anti OnlyFans. That's really fascinating that happens though. Because what does that say about the fucking audience of that goddamn podcast? That's such a wretched podcast. Look, I'm not the target audience for that, and I probably only engage with, look, there's no defending that podcast. I feel like of all the content I engage with from that podcast, it is in my Twitter. My Twitter is pretty lefty. So it's a lot of the stuff I see from that podcast is like the hosts of the podcast getting owned by the women. Ayla's appearance. Does anyone know Ayla? Like the sex researcher and escort? She's so fascinating. I actually subscribe to her. I subscribe to her Substack. Her work is incredibly fascinating. Yeah, I saw her on there, and she does quite well. I think she does a really good job, and a very like eloquent job at making the hosts look truly as stupid as they are. She's like autistic enough to sort of own them. That interview they do, she's talking about statistics. I don't know if anyone's seen this clip. If they can find the clip or link it in the Discord. Maybe put it in the. Also, yeah, if you're new here, join the Discord. It's the link in the description. Go to the things you want to see on stream channel. It's in the hustle category on the Art Chat Discord. And if you can find this clip, drop it there because I'd love to watch this clip. They're talking about statistics, and Ayla does like stats for a living, basically. Like she has her like big kink survey. I think like 2 million people have taken this survey, and her like BDSM archetype survey and stuff like that. It's really, really fascinating. And she's arguing that you don't need a control to do statistics. And one of the hosts is like screaming at her and calling her retarded because he's like, of course you need a fucking control to do statistics. You need something to base the stats off of. And then she's like really sweet and quiet, and she's like, no, like think about it. She's not playing their game, but she's not yelling back. And she's like, if you were to chart height versus weight in a population, you wouldn't have a control. And they're like, yeah, you fucking would, you dumb bitch. She's like, no, think about it. You wouldn't have a control. And she's just like very like quietly owning them. It's fucking hilarious, dude. It's like a type of person they've never engaged with before. If someone can find that clip, I'd love to watch that clip on stream. It's a really good clip.
This is one that's the entire reason I'm making this video, because it's killing me. It's sucking out my fucking life force. A key ingredient to good bait is leaving a wide open angle for attack. You want to bait a leftist, well, you need to give them an easy response, which makes them feel morally superior and intellectually superior. They love that shit. If you want to bait a right-winger, you need to give them an easy open angle of attack, which makes them feel strong and or pragmatic. They love feeling like strong, powerful, salt-of-the-earth farmer types, you know, as they sit behind their fucking keyboards. There's this guy on TikTok who
I swear the only, like, the Fresh and Fit, my understanding of the Whatever Podcast audience and the Fresh and Fit audience is Etymology Nerd's fucking great. I love Etymology Nerd. My understanding is that their audience is like people who have never had sex, like actual like 17-year-old boys. Indians and people who have been divorced like 12 times. So it's people who have like the most wretched horrible relationship with women, like the 12 times divorcee, who is just, you know, obviously has some massive psychological shortfalling where they cannot lock down and maintain any sort of like close relationship, or they're selecting for people who are as broken as they are. And then Fresh and Fit and the Whatever Podcast just reinforces their beliefs they've gotten from their horrible experience in life. Or it's like people who have no concept, who like don't have the experience to begin with, and their experience is built without base by these podcasts. That's the only audience they can sort of lock in. I don't know like any well-balanced and adjusted young man who engages with those podcasts in a serious way. I know 13-year-olds who listen to Fresh and Fit. Jesus Christ, that's so fucking dark, man. That's so dark. It's so dark. Fuck, man. I don't want to like. That's why I'm against debate. In a big sense as well. Like I'm not the kind of. I'm not like a debate archetype, and I don't think I have the tools to engage with things in a way that like deconstructs it enough. And then most of the time, yeah, like if you're going on the Whatever Podcast, you're entering their frame and you're arguing within their universe, right? And you're sort of just, it's like 1,000,000 to 1. It's 1,000,000-on-1 dog pile. Like you're not gonna win that argument. You're not gonna win that fucking debate. You're gonna get trounced. I don't want to engage with it, man. It's one of those things I don't want to give credence to. I don't want to give power to that demon because it's extremely dark fucking extremely dark content. It's so dark. And imagine being that guy, man. I'm sure before the whatever guy, who's the normie looking fucking cracker, the normal ass honky who does whatever. I'm sure at one point he was a normal person, a normal man, and slowly through audience capture is now just the whatever guy. And is just like, that's gonna follow him for the rest of his life. I'm sure he's a multi-millionaire off of this podcast, but he seems like, yeah, he's just even if he was, you know, on the fence about his beliefs before, he is just stuck in it. That's his entire life, is fucking, I don't know, 3 days a week. He argues with fucking OnlyFans models about how much he hates women. It's sad, man. He needs to find Jesus, otherwise he will burn in hell 100%, not gonna lie. You said it, man.
Who I keep seeing. I don't have a TikTok. He's breached containment. He eats in front of a camera, and he dunks on liberals. As you can probably imagine, I don't follow anything partisan on the internet. There's no reason I should be seeing this shit. But I keep seeing it anyway. Because he's the master, the platonic ideal of this modern strain of trolling marketing. He manages to both appeal to his audience of conservatives while leaving himself.
Dr. Feelbetter, the bag is not worth damnation. I could put that on my fucking tombstone. That's a powerful quote.
Wide open for easy leftist retorts, which, as I said, make them feel so morally and intellectually superior. He's almost always eating in these. Sometimes he's just doing like something, but it's usually eating. It helps him affect this air of casualness, despite the fact that this is obviously a highly choreographed formula. It's like he's barely trying. He's burning libs, just going about his day. It's like if Pinochet was making a tasty Cobb salad as he threw dudes from helicopters. It adds insult to the injury. Furthermore, he's always in public, and often even in crowded public places, to further drive home that he is not ashamed of his beliefs. He's proud of them, and they are popular. I just could not figure out, like, who he is? Like, who he really is. The man behind the bait. Is he just pure algorithm? Did he spawn from code like Uruk-hai from the fucking mud?
I always keep this fake Hollywood money in my car, so when a homeless person asks for money, then I give them like a fake $5 bill, so I feel good about myself, they feel good, and then when they go to use it, they get arrested, so I'm actually like helping clean up the community.
Oh my god, he's good. Yeah, I was genuinely considering this possibility, that he was an AI construct. Anyway, turns out he was personally involved in January 6th.
And another firing. President Trump's longtime personal aide, John McEntee, is out of his job. A source says McEntee was fired because he is under investigation for serious issues related to gambling and taxes.
Honestly, I suspect there was something up with his expense account, maybe. So it says here you eat 20 lunches a day on your work trips? Yes. In what world is that reasonable? Well, I had to destroy the libs. This man is a fucking...
Jesus Christ almighty. Making people mad gets more engagement. They financially incentivize to make you angry, to bait you. Yeah. It's totally true. It's totally true, and it sucks. I mean, I make people mad. Like my videos, people disagree with my videos. I guess I just try to be honest. I don't intentionally try to make people angry. I don't make a video like rubbing my hands together thinking like, oh yes, this will rustle some jimmies. But it's good to say things that are debatable, right? It's good to say things that warrant conversation. If you're not, you're just sort of making innocuous content that no one really gives a shit about and will die in the ether. I think it's good to raise discussion with what you're doing. But it's anti-lib conservatard mukbang. Yeah, it's dark, man. It's dark. It's a dark kind of content. It's a very dark kind of content. It's super depressing to watch. I can't stand watching it. Especially this guy. I know this exact guy, and it's just. It's not that he upsets me. It's more just the audience capture. The lack of ability to empathize with people. I don't know. That's what I mean. I can't even say anything because it's like if I say anything, I'm just sort of in the trap. I'm falling it into the bait, right? There's a difference between arousing discussion and being incendiary, the way Cobbler is mentioning it. Yeah, true. One thing is to make discussion to lift thought of people's life. Others is to play war just to get benefit. Yeah, it's hard. I mean, and the internet warrants the internet being an internet figure, right? Part of like, look, I would be I would be more popular than I am right now if I rage baited more and if I got angry at people more, right? If I was on Twitter arguing all the time, if I made more like clapback videos, if I made more videos like takedowns and shit like that, I would I'd be bigger than I am. I'd make more money than I do. But it's just it's not me and it feels bad. And the times I've gone to do that, the times I've actually like tried to make a video that was, you know, making a point, and I think a point that needs to be made, but also clapping at somebody else. It's felt depressing to even make. Also, underscore, you found the Ayla clip. It's in the Discord. Fuck yeah. Oh my god, 7 hours. Is there a timestamp for this? This is a 7-hour podcast. Three times Willie Phillips. Is Ayla in this one? Who the fuck timestamps these? Oh my god. 6/21/38.
Sample size and have it be representative.
Okay, this here is Ayla. Thank you for the. I wish the Horse Theory podcast was 7 hours. No, you don't. This looks like I would kill myself in this room. 3 hours in, my brains would be all over the fucking walls. I have to sit here and deal with this shit. But this is Ayla here.
Of something, but in this case, are you
the TTS is $200 fucking dollars? Oh my god, Jesus Christ Almighty!
saying that the sample size? Hang on. In this case, why are you saying the sample size was 20?
No, I don't know. I remember it being small. I think it might have been.
But what does that mean, though? So this is the problem, right? When you get into the details, like the gal who's
so
next to you,
boring
she's
to
actually
me.
going to literally agree with everything I just said. She has no choice.
No,
This
sure.
is- hang on. This is
That's not Ayla. The one talking right here isn't Ayla. This is Ayla here in the black hair.
stats. This is how they work, right?
No,
You
of
can
course.
have sample size which are small, but they do have some kind of statistical relevance or significance. In this case, you just saying, well, the sample size from my view was small, doesn't actually mean anything.
It means something. It doesn't mean nothing.
You could, well, maybe, but maybe not.
It indicates the level of confidence we can draw from the.
Yeah, but
the
what
thing.
is okay? Well, then what is small? Tell me what small is.
We have
as
to
a
pull up
number.
the study.
You can do a calculation on the level of confidence.
Yeah,
So it
tell
depends
me
on
what small is. She says it's small, but won't
I
give you
would
the
say
number.
for me, anything under 1,000, I would consider a small sample size. Like if I were to pull one person at this table and say,
And are you saying that
Wait,
these
hold on,
studies had
hold
less
on,
than
hold
1,000?
on. Let her finish. Go ahead.
Well, I just want to know that.
well, no,
Let her-
because
let
I
her-
mean the rules aren't being applied evenly, so it's like I can't interject at all, but then I keep getting interrupted,
You can
and that's
definitely
not.
interject.
No, because you're like, no, let me finish, but then it's different rules for me, and then that's not
Well,
fair.
I did just.
I think that this is these people are fucking masters at upsetting women. I mean, this is the skill of the podcast, is like not actually having the conversation, but getting the conversation to this point where they're having like a meta argument about. I'm not gonna turn it off. It gets interesting. I think Ayla's point is really fascinating. Watching this guy squirm when Ayla starts making sense is fucking hilarious. Yeah, no, it's never about. They're not trying to have a discussion. They're trying to get the women to a point where they get into this argument about the meta of the conversation. This is the worst thing I can fucking imagine. This is truly a abhorrent podcast. But that's what they do. I mean, that's how they make their money, right? My mic keeps cutting out. Why does my? Oh, is it because it's behind me? Maybe try that. Turn my gain up a little bit. That should be better.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, because
No.
it's lightning, the reason that I interject very quickly is just for quick clarification.
But when I do it, it's not allowed for quick clarification,
It is allowed. I'm happy
and that is
for
one
it.
of my critiques about the show.
This is 6 hours in too. This is them in the conversation at this point for 6 hours.
Right? It's just like I'm all for debate and like having ideas proven wrong, but there's a way that you can
analog.
debate. ask size
My important
you're studying.
Yes.
There we go.
Like, I'm not sure that you
Yeah,
understand.
what the control factors are.
size for you then. So like
It's going to
when
depend on what it is that we're studying, why, and what the control factors are. So this is my whole problem.
Oh, I'm saying controls, but like I'm not sure that you understand how controls work.
Controls are super important for any study, yes. Wouldn't you agree?
Like controls are important for certain types of things that you're studying. You can't
No,
just
for all
throw
types
out.
of
No, you
No, for all
this
types
is
of-
like.
there's no science is not possible.
I understand how to run studies. You don't need controls
No, you
for
don't
all things
understand,
that
which
you
is why
study.
Your studies are all bullshit.
You haven't
Every study
read
is
my
only-
studies, dude. Listen, no,
every-
you.
Yes, I have dove into your studies, which is how I knew that teenagers were oversampled in all of them. And they're all bullshit. That aside,
No.
hang on, that aside, can you tell me how you can have science absent controls, madame?
You can absolutely have science absent controls. Like for example, science is testing a hypothesis, right? And like let's say I have a hypothesis here that like maybe the people who looked worse when they were made into old people actually have higher body counts. How would you propose we have a control for this hypothesis?
Wait a second. Let's back up. Your hypothesis is what?
That the people who looked worse when they were aged up have higher body counts. This is my hypothesis, hypothetically.
Yeah, great. So you're going to test this hypothesis.
Yeah, so what would you suggest be the control?
Wait. Are we testing the hypothesis? Because that's the next part of the scientific method, right?
Yeah, we could test it by.
Okay, so how can you have a test absent a control?
I'm proposing the hypothesis. I'd like to know how you would propose that we control for
It
this.
doesn't matter how I would do it. I'm asking how could it even be done
Jesus
absent
fucking Christ, these fucking guys.
a control.
The way that I would test this hypothesis is I would ask people to, like, for example, I would figure out how bad we look in the things, maybe assign a rating so we can
That's
have
a
a number.
control.
No, that's not a control.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
do we
it's
just
not.
have like very different meanings of the word? What do you mean when
No,
you say
we
control?
don't have very different meanings of the word control. What do you
Assigning
think
a number
control-
to a way a face looks
in
is not a
science-
control.
In science, what do you think a control
A control is, let's say, I give a medication to a group of people because I want to see if it has an effect. I also measure the group of people that have not received that medication as a control to see if there's a difference between the populations.
So in sociology, you're saying there's no controls?
I'm saying there can be controls. I'm saying
Well, what is
I'm
it-
giving
what is
you.
it good? What is
Listen
control
to me.
sociology?
Listen to me talk for a second. What I'm saying is that there are some types of hypotheses for which testing does not require controls. And I'm giving you a very narrow example. For example, I'm checking to see if there's a correlation in this group between the apparent age of being aged up and a body count. And I would do this by looking at the number assigned to the age, and I would look at the body count, and I would run a correlation.
What you've done is you've created a control ruling other things out.
Fucking God. Oh my fucking God.
That's not what a control is.
I like he's laughing to himself like he thinks he's fucking right too.
A control is
what a control is.
taking another group and then checking to see if your intervention had an effect depending on the group.
That's one type of control. The other thing you talked about is another type of control.
It's a
So all
we are measuring
all
two
the
variables.
All the scientific. Are
you using the word control?
Stop. All the scientific control is doing is controlling for a variable. The very first thing that you gave me was a variable control, you fucking dummy.
So you're saying you're using the word.
How do you not know this shit? You're a fucking. Yes, the very first thing you gave me was a fucking variable control. The very first thing you said was a variable control.
So what you're saying is that if we are testing the correlation between two. Sorry, everything's happening suddenly.
It's so embarrassing for you. I can't even believe that you just said that. But go ahead.
Well, like, how are you feeling right now? Do you feel like you're like having a fun time dominating?
Oh my God! It's
Like,
so
because I
funny.
really think that maybe you don't know how science works.
How does my mental state help you explain what a fucking scientific control is when the first thing you said was a scientific control ruling out X thing? That's a control.
No, a control is when you make sure that you're testing a group to make sure that it is not being affected by your intervention.
That's
it's a control
one
group.
form of control.
Okay, or you can test two variables to see if there's a correlation. And are you
would
saying
be
that
the very first control that you gave us?
I have never in my life heard the word control used to refer to one of the variables which was true? I could be wrong. I am willing to say I was wrong if it turns out that
That's
standard
literally-
science.
If you're setting parameters for an experiment, everything that you're setting which would rule X variable out would be a control.
I don't understand. Like I can't tell if he knows he's wrong. This is like mentally licking a battery. Yeah, Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my God. I can't tell if he knows he's wrong. and he's baiting, or if they just completely, like, they actually disagree, like he actually believes what he's saying is right and doesn't know what a control is, and they actually have different definitions. This is like extremely impossible to follow.
Okay, what do you mean everything that I'm saying would rule X variable out? Like, what am I saying would rule X variable out?
Okay, so if we want a control for this, like, okay, my hypothesis is that there's flint, which makes this flame happen, right? So I can add a variance, I can add 100 different variances of controls to this, can't I? I could take the flint out, for instance, or possibly I can add multiple flints, or I could say...
I'm falling for it, dude. I'm fucking falling for it.
Well, we're not going to do that at all. We're only going to do X. All of those things would be controls in the experiment for how this flint made this lighter work. If you're talking about statistics when it comes to studies, the very first thing you say is, the way that I would do this is I would divide X by Y. You're introducing a control which rules other things out.
I don't think he doesn't know what he's saying at all.
You're trying to narrow the process to affirm the You're trying to narrow the process to affirm the hypothesis. That's what you're doing.
Yeah, I understand attempting to rule things out.
That's a control. You can't even do experiments without controls. That's my whole point.
I think you're coming from an extremely different type of science than I am, or else you don't understand how the science that I'm doing works. I'm not sure which one is the case.
I can't wait to hear this. Tell me how we can have science absent a control for an experiment. All experiments, the experiment by itself is literally inferring that there's controls, or we couldn't have an experiment.
Okay, let's think of a slightly simpler example. Let's say I want to see if there's a correlation between height and weight in a population. How would you propose that we test this?
Between height and weight? I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I told you my strategy for the last one. Can you tell me your strategy for this one?
Why would it matter what my strategy is?
Just so that I know how you're thinking about this.
I don't know. I mean, I have no idea.
I know that it is like, you like to put me on the defensive by asking a lot of questions, and then you won't answer questions because that would put you on the defensive.
I don't know how I would conduct such a study. Why would that matter?
Well, just think. Do we have a whole bunch of people, and we're trying to see...
Like, literally, what would the relevancy be, regardless of how I answered, right? To whether or not...
Well, it's how you do science.
It would have the addition of controls.
I'm just curious how you would test to see if there's a correlation between height and weight. Just how would you do the science? What's your strategy?
I have no idea. I've never thought about it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there are ways to do this. There's statistical things we can run. Like, we make a chart. X and Y axis, it's a chart. If you would like to call one of the axes a control, we can put that word on that, if that makes you happy.
What else would it be?
The X axis. It's the X and Y axis. It's like you plot the data on a graph. This is just the way that it works.
And why are we doing that, though?
Well, I'll explain.
For what? Because we're...
She's trying so fucking hard to be like, just like to provide any semblance of value from this goddamn conversation.
Controlling for what?
We're not controlling for anything. We're testing to see if there's a correlation. Do you know what correlations are?
So we're controlling for a correlate.
We're not. We're running a calculation on the. Do you know what a correlation is?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me what, just to make sure that you understand?
What a correlate is?
What a correlation is. Like, how is a correlation calculated?
It would be something that could be loosely or vaguely or non-vaguely associated with some other property.
Very close. Yes. It helps tell you.
She's like the communication level of like a preschool teacher. Like, oh, very close. Good job.
How much you can predict one variable by knowledge of the other variable. So, for example, if we want to check the correlation between height and weight.
I don't care about a monologue. I'm asking how it's not a control.
Your question makes no sense. I can explain to you how correlations work. I can explain to you p-values.
I don't care about how correlations work. I'm asking about controls, not correlations.
Like, how is this guy not? Who's this guy? Who runs this podcast? If I was this guy, I'd go make out with a double barrel shotgun. And not saying he should. I'm saying if like my personality in his body, I would tongue the barrel of a double barrel shotgun. And he shouldn't do that because he is him. And that's fine. Me in this position, if I had his skin on my psyche, I would end my life.
The controls are relevant for certain types of questions.
Perhaps they are.
I'm
but
trying to
I'm
say
asking
controls are not
about controls right now. And if you say,
No, I think you.
okay, I have a graph and it divides it in half, and it's putting this half over here, and this half over there. You have now introduced a way to control what your experiment's going to be.
I can continue. So if we have a graph, X and Y axis like this, and then we plot everybody's height and weight along it. So like one axis is height and the other axis is weight, and you have a whole bunch of dots on this graph. What you can do is you can run basically do a calculation that shows you a trend line to see if the dots slowly kind of increase with the Y axis the higher you get on the X axis. And then you do a calculation of the square root of the all of the points from the trend line, and then basically from that you get what's called the R value, and this is how far away different points are from being tightly correlated. So for example,
that makes total sense to me.
Yeah. So for example, height.
I just want to read a simple thing for you. An experimental control refers to a group or element within the scientific experiment that remains unchanged or.
Who's that?
Hello.
What's up?
It's me, everyone's favorite, Dreg.
9? Yeah, sure.
Just let me know when you're done.
Okay. Are they here?
Wes is here.
Okay, what are we doing for the meeting?
We're gonna talk about the rent stuff. Figure it out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna finish up this clip and then end the stream, so it shouldn't be too much longer.
Serves as a baseline comparison or divider from the experimental group. Everything you just explained was a control.
No, I explained to you a correlation.
No. You explained how you control
the thing
for
that
correlates.
yes. So you want something that's unchanged from the group.
Yeah,
Yes. So
that's
for
control.
example,
Yeah,
if I'm
I'm
giving
telling
you
you what it
medication, then this means that I am introducing some sort of influence, and so I have a control to check the difference between those groups. That's what a control is, and I think this is great and fantastic and very important in science. And a lot of science doesn't have controls, and I think you're correct to be going. Why are there not controls?
I am correct. You're
Yes.
right. It's
However,
only as
this
good-
is
so
a
science-
different
so wait.
concept
So
from the.
science is only as good as its controls, and you haven't actually given me a way in which we can conduct an experiment absent controls.
Well, I'm describing how we can find the correlation between height and weight.
Yeah, I'm not asking about how you can describe correlates.
Guys.
How can we run an experiment which
He's gonna try to save him here.
refers to a group or element within a scientific experiment that remains either unchanged, serves as a baseline for comparison, or divides the experimental group? How could you even do it? How?
That's a great question. How would you do it if we're trying to test height and
I'm
weight?
asking you.
We don't, because this is not
You
how
could just
science
choose an
works.
age. Can we move on?
All right, we can move on.
Everybody's the same age. There's your.
I mean, you guys can wrap it up, but if this is going to go on another 20 minutes, I have to cut it here. So you guys can, if you can wrap it up quickly, we can continue a little bit because.
Yeah, so I'll just wrap it up quick. What I said was science is only as good as its controls, right? She ends up agreeing with me. Yes, you're right, actually. This is very important to the scientific process. Experiments are really only as good as their controls. She says, though, you can have experiments absent controls, but actually didn't give us any experiments absent controls, just literally gave us experiments where she starts with baseline of having controls for her experiments. That was my whole point. The thing is, I'm not sure how you can even conduct an experiment absent controls. I think it's even inferred in experiment that you are controlling X, Y, Z based on what this definition is for the thing. That's my whole point. But back to what we're originally talking about, you just saying sample size X really small doesn't actually mean anything. Small.
Anyway. As the end of that, massive props for Ayla. I think Ayla's deeply intelligent, and I encourage you all to read her work. Yeah, that was fucking awful, horrible. I do not understand the value of that podcast or why anybody engaged with that ever. I just wanted to sorry to fucking put you all through that. It's truly a fucking awful fucking program there. Truly awful. Okay, we got 10 minutes left. I want to do, my strategy going forward is to do 7 to 9 every weekday night. Did we learn here? Yes. I'm never. That was a very specific clip I wanted to bring up. I didn't bring that up because I wanted to watch the whatever podcast clips. Very specific clip I wanted to bring up. On just I like Ayla's. I like Ayla's communication style. I think Ayla's very, very intelligent. I think sex research. Open conversations about sex need to be had. They're very important. They're very important. And yeah, I think Ayla's work is very good for that. I think straight men, especially, like I said in that tweet, I think straight men especially need to have more open conversations about sex with each other, with their partners, with the people they're sleeping with. It's great. Every weekday, what's your next every day? No, Monday to Friday, pending if I work at the shift at my day job or not. During that time, every Monday to Friday, 7 to 9, that's my show, okay? The show is called Something is Happening with Art Chad. That's the evening. That's what we try to do here. I will never forgive you for subjecting us to that. Well, don't worry. It's never going to happen again. Unless I need to do it, in which case it will happen again. But I will never absentmindedly click on a clip of whatever, or Fresh and Fit, or any other rage bait slop. And I don't think I'd ever go on it, honestly. If I'm ever in a, I would go on it, I think. If I was in a position to go on one of those podcasts, I would. But I don't know. I like to think I'm open enough. I could whittle them down in a way that would make them look foolish without actually having to engage in debate. There are people who don't communicate with their partners. It's fucking crazy. There's people who don't communicate with their partners at all. It's so dark, man. It's so dark how many people just like don't, I don't know. Yeah, have no concept of their own sexuality.
Are you gonna update the stream list anytime soon? I get if it's low priority. It just feels weird that the unofficial ones are more extensive.
Yes, I will update my stream list. Tonight, I have to do a meeting at 9 once the stream is up, and then after that, I will update. I will add all the previous live streams back to the stream list. The Passage Yarvin debate. I have not watched the Passage Yarvin debate. There's still a problem of incels needing to watch this content because it's the only people willing to talk about their issues, which is sad. Look, I mean, fuck. It's such a complicated. Like, I'm trying not to make a value judgment here. I'm trying not to make a moral judgment here, because I think that content is garbage. But I do agree with you. Another one. It is deeply dark. That I said this immediately as soon as Andrew Tate got famous. Right. This concept of Andrew Tate being like a intelligent, malevolent actor manipulating otherwise pure and moral young men into debauchery and into misogyny wasn't the case. And it drove me fucking insane when people covered the rise of the Andrew Tate story as if that was the case, because that wasn't true. It's somebody coming along, and this is always the case. It's somebody coming along and articulating something that many people are feeling. That's why they gain popularity. Okay? It's emergent from the culture. It's not creating a culture. It is in some sense, I mean, his popularity does fractal into a creation of culture. But his popularity to begin with comes from the fact that he's expressing something that people are feeling. And it's deeply, deeply upsetting to me that there is a large cohort of young men. This is still the only way and the only atmosphere in which they see their opinions or things they care about expressed, or things like the Whatever podcast or like Fresh and Fit. And this is why it's so important on an individual level to just have these discussions in a normal way, right? Discussions about relationships, about sex, and uncomfortable discussions about power dynamics need to be fucking had, right? And I think it's on, like, it's the onus of the normal man to do so, right? There's always been a lack of like normal, I'll say like, yeah, hetero dudes, especially normal hetero dudes, discussing sex. That's never like, there's never been a culture of that. That's never been a thing in pop culture. And if it has been, it's been about quantity. It's been about power. It's been about like this sort of alpha male shit. It's never been about like how to How do you, as a normal person, engage in a relationship that makes the sex in the relationship and the intimacy of the relationship, not just regarding the sex, but the overall intimacy between two partners, fulfilling in a way that makes both parties happy, and in a way that makes you feel like a more complete and whole person, right? It's insane, man. It's insane. And I'll go ahead and say this too. I think a lot of it is like people's response. I think both men and women in a society that grows increasingly isolatory, both men and women's response to the isolation that is undeniably in society is that they do things for themselves. Everything's about self-discovery. Everything is about loving yourself, and it's about finding yourself and loving, being alone, right? Like, here's my perspective, okay? I mostly know who I am. I'm not gonna say I'm like a full grown-up, complete person. I'm young, all things considered. I'm trying to like make my way, figure out the world, how to work hard and whatnot. I mostly know who I am. I have a decent understanding of like my strengths, my weaknesses, what I can get better at, what my skills are, how I am in a relationship, how I am as a friend, how I am as a sibling, as a son. There becomes a point in anyone's life where it's like we are supposed to cohabitate. We are supposed to build relationships with other people. Okay? We're not lonely solo individuals. We're not lizards. Okay? We're not lizards who don't have the mental faculty to build close relationships. Okay? We need people in our lives. A relationship, a loving and intimate relationship improves your life. It's not you being weak because you can't do it alone. No one ever expected you to do it alone. No one ever asked you to do it alone. That was never a thing that was required of you. That is a concept we've created in the last 20 years to deal with how isolating society is now, how isolating Western society is. You should seek out intimate relationships. They fulfill you in a way that being alone cannot. And it's depressing that people are just don't even want to engage with it and are shying away from it because they don't know how to communicate, and no one's ever talked to them about it in an honest and open and sincere way.
I think you have the potential to fill the role of a genuinely good role model for other men. I don't always agree with the things you say or do, but at your core you're a good person, Brogan. I get that I don't know you enough to say that, but whatever.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I try to be. I would never seek that position out, but I don't know. I just try to be like I try to be honest, It's good. Just yeah, I don't know, man. Like leave, I keep putting the onus on straight men because I feel like that's my audience and I feel like that's what I can relate to is like I'm like a normal hetero dude. I'm a normal straight guy. Have these conversations, right? Have these conversations about intimacy, about building, fulfilling, loving relationships, about how to communicate with your partners, and have it in a normal way, right? These are conversations that need to be had. You don't need to shy away from this stuff. This stuff doesn't make you. If you're like, oh fuck, it's so hard. It's so hard. This is what I mean, where it's like advice is bullshit because you need to live it, right? Because I would say like there's the extreme outlier of like if you are somebody who's just jumping from falling in love every month and jumping from relationship to relationship because you have like no sense of self. Okay, you should work on yourself, right? But if you're a pretty integrated, like well-adjusted, balanced person, have these conversations, man. It does not make you weaker to discuss like the fact you desire an intimate and like close, honest relationship with somebody. No one ever asked you to do this alone. That's a fabrication that was made up on the internet 15 years ago. No one ever asked you to do this by yourself. You're supposed to do this with other people. And I think as a man, a part of a fulfilling existence, part of the reason to live is the idea of I know that as a man, part of a reason to live, the reason why you are, hustling away, making money, building a business, saving money, climbing the corporate ladder, getting promotions, whatever it is. The reason you grow as a person is because one day you are going to be in a primary provider, or at least try to be in a primary provider role for a family, right? And to act as if, it just makes me sad to think that there's people out there and even people who are extremely ambitious and extremely competent and conscientious and intelligent, who are out there building businesses, making money, becoming, a whole person in no context to anything else. Like, you want to be 45 and alone with 6 or 7 figures in your bank account and in a 1-bedroom condo. Like, that's the goal of your life. That's what you wanted. That's horrible. That's complete fabrication. You should seek connection with other people. You should seek cohabitation. You should seek finding a second half and making your life fulfilling your life and building your life in a way you couldn't do alone. And you can't do that without being honest about the fact that you desire that level of intimacy that cannot be gained by yourself or from friendships. Anyway, that's my rant. That's my rant, because I don't know. Things are getting a bit better. Things are getting a bit better, but it's dark. Anyway, let's go. So true, Mr. Chad. How do I buy a house for my wife in this economy? If you're American, I don't know, go to West Virginia. If you're European, go to go to Czechoslovakia. Go to Bosnia. There's places you can pull it off, man. I think I lean more towards that. We have been dealt a shit hand generationally, and we should act to rectify the problems we've been handed. On the other hand, we shouldn't be completely fatalistic because of the problems and because of the life we've been handed. I think you need to find the healthy balance of fight for a better future without being fatalistic about the hand you've been dealt. You can still, we don't live like, we're not full Gilded Age fucking, 1% of the population has 99.9% of the wealth yet. We're not there yet, okay? You can still figure out a way to have a family, whether you both have to work, whatever it is. There are still many avenues for all of us in our 20s or early 30s or whatever to find a partner and have children and own a home. That's still on the table. It's difficult, and it sucks that it's difficult, and it sucks that our parents had it so easy, and it sucks that boomers had it so easy and now we don't. Those all suck. But you can hold that opinion and fight to correct it, and also align yourself to seek that sort of middle class domestic life. That can all still happen. It's not gone yet. The West has not fallen. So just act. You can hold both those opinions at the same time. Don't get fatalistic, but know that you're fighting for a better future. If you're here, join the Discord. Link in the description. I'm gonna stream. I'll stream. I'll be back tomorrow night, 7 to 9. We'll chat. Go through some news. I'm gonna try to get some callers in. I'll probably talk to like Soypill, Erudite, Greg, JJ. Try and do more of a show here. I don't like fucking yapping about politics. So, more chats, talks with the audience. Do some call-ins. I'm gonna try I really want to do like Monday to Friday. Have every night allotted for like one night will be chill. One night will be like viewer call-ins. One night will be like an interview. One night will be news. Friday night we'll get drunk, something like that, where there's like a scheduled program, because that's really fun. I do like doing it. I like streaming when it's short and there's a good audience and we can communicate in the chat, and it's dope. Call-ins would be fun though. I'd love to do some call-ins. Anyway, thank you for watching. Join the Discord in the description. It's where I announce all my streams. Please go to the stuff you want to see on stream channel and load it with stuff, because that's where if you want me to look at it on stream, I go through that channel. Keep that channel active and load it with fucking shit. Whatever you want me to watch, I'll curate it all. If I think it's cool, I'll watch it. I'll react to it on stream. I'll read the article out loud. That should be good. And also, if you like this, you want to join, you want to talk to me more, I do a book club on the Patreon. We talk once a month or longer, depending on how busy I am. A meeting on a book, I discuss the ideas of the book. Everyone gets a chance to talk for like 20, 30 minutes. So that's also really fun. If you want to join the Patreon, that helps me massively. But Discord, watch the streams, subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much. And I'll talk to you tomorrow night, 7 to 9. Pablo Rosano, God bless you, man. God bless Spain. God bless the Spaniards.